The first time you heard of Metaverse, you might have thought, isn't that just Ready Player One? Or
There's nothing wrong with the system. It is perfect. I agree.
This is the most beautiful miracle I've ever seen.
the more popular and recent renditions of the Metaverse are actually more accurate depictions than you might think.
I'll define the metaverse as a futuristic vision of an interconnected virtual world, and this virtual world is brought together by the convergence of virtually enhanced physical and digital reality.
We might not be feeling 4D versions of the Metaverse at home just yet, but we are running towards the closest we have ever been to intertwining reality and virtual space.
In the metaverse, you'll see humans coming across as avatars in communities based on their interests, interacting with each other, interacting with brands, playing together, connecting together, creating together, and it allows the world to basically come in this huge, immense space for an enhanced, immersive experience.
Now that we have made a deep dive on the essential parts of the Metaverse, as marketers, what can we look forward to? And what challenges await us as we explore marketing in the Metaverse?
There's a great opportunity for brands to take advantage of the fact that there is a new platform, a new way to communicate, a new way to express your brand. I also think that there's a huge opportunity in the fact that it's uncharted territory. So innovators and first movers in this space will really be able to own a niche that they maybe aren't able to own in their current sector at the moment.
The Metaverse offers new opportunities that stop only with our imagination. They say that in the Metaverse, the sky is not the limit. Just picture all that space and all that technology there to make marketers and brands' visions a 3D and immersive reality.
And it's great for audiences as well. We're seeing a huge appetite in the up and coming generations for these kind of experiences. So for marketers to add value to that is why there is such a great opportunity for this new platform.
I'm sure that we're all aware that the metaverse is still in a very early stage right now. And when they get into it, they have to get into it not because it's a trendy new thing. They have to understand how they can adapt along with the metaverse.
For as long as social media has been our go-to platforms, brands and marketers have only been relying on trends for that something new or unique. But now, with a completely new platform, marketers foresee that the Metaverse will and is reshaping marketing. One of the highlights you can include in the timeline of the pandemic is the ever-increasing popularity of virtual reality social interactive apps. Research shows that more and more people are interested in virtual interaction through avatars, especially considering the lack thereof physically.
I think here brands are crazy about using the new technology such as MetaHuman to generate gimmicks sometimes. In China, a growing number of brands are already adopting virtual idols, virtual humans, or virtual influencers to entice Generation Z.
One thing that the metaverse does provides the opportunity is that they can create parallel metaverse marketing that maps with their real life marketing. They can create more immersive experiences to connect their audience to brands. They can create gamification platforms that brings people together, and they can also use communities to a greater effect. Because I think the metaverse, people are coming across as avatars, and they could actually think about ways where these communities can drive the dialogue and drive the narrative where brands are actually conversing with them.
Different social video apps have seen a rapid surge in popularity in 2020 to 2021, ranging from 30% to up to 300% of increase in downloads worldwide.
We're building Web3 in real time. So the metaverse that we know today might not be the metaverse that we know in 5 years' time. It might not even be the metaverse we know in 2 months' time, because it's being built at this crazy rate. It's definitely going to shape the digital industry because it's changing the fundamental technology underneath.
While headset vendors are looking at a 90% increase in purchases by 2023 at 18.81 million shipments worldwide, augmented reality and virtual reality is only a small part of the metaverse.
Right now, when we look at the metaverse, it may be a rather vague term for some people to understand. People can confuse the metaverse with virtual reality, which is just wearing a VR goggles. I think the true metaverse, when its potential is being realized, you have an environment where platforms are able to allow users to navigate, across these platforms freely. So there's going to be what I call interoperability, bringing the avatars and their digital assets across all these platforms. Currently, it's still not possible. It's still very much platform specific, meaning that if you're on, say, Roblox, you can't migrate from Roblox to another platform. But I think, for the true metaverse to happen, us wearing our clothes, being able to cross to the other side of the street freely, I think this is what we are looking at, where metaverse requires the metaverse bridges and links to happen.
And one may think these numbers are only for the benefit of gamers and Generation Z, but
Obviously, the rise of gaming platforms is why consumers are more attracted to metaverse platforms, but the use of gaming platforms don't necessarily have to be used in gaming worlds. Gaming platforms like Unity and game engines are actually driving accessibility through production, for example.
So this gaming technology is opening doors for a more immersive experience when brands create their marketing campaigns. But we already have unlimited access in Web 2. You might ask, what are all these fancy new developments for? Won't they just complicate things?
So we're not about trying to erect walls or make it harder for people to operate in these different worlds and have seamless experiences. We're actually trying to make it easier by not creating one owner. You don't have to go to a corporation in order to access the metaverse. You can actually just build on top of it, or you can create your own experience. And I think that's super interesting for marketers, because as a marketer myself, we're always looking at ways to break down silos, not create new ones. So if you can really kind of play into that interoperable nature of the metaverse, that's where it gets really, really exciting.
So what is the essence of borrowing this sophisticated and emerging technology? Who are we expected to market to?
If you look at how the metaverse is going to progress, the user rates right now, who are basically driven by the mobile first environment and digital first environment, I don't think anyone who's just using the internet is within the demographics of 13 to 35. I mean, I'm 42. I know about the metaverse. Anyone who can go on the internet and play a video game or online game will be basically, targeted by the metaverse.
What is my audience? What's their expectation around their digital experience? And also, what does the immersive experience help solve for? Is it giving them more information than they could have in a usual digital experience? Selling a car, for example, during COVID, we couldn't go to showrooms and drive cars. So augmented reality plays a huge play in that space. So does virtual reality, where you can explore a car, you can customize it, you can learn about that car more than you could from watching a video or having a 2D digital experience. Every single marketer is looking to create loyal customers, and technology like blockchain and NFTs really help drive that conversation.
The flashy graphics, incredibly taxing web of currency and pillars, hips of new slang and terms, are not only to advance technology or to create new fancy niches for the new generation.
The 4 reasons why consumers would use immersive experiences: knowledge sharing, interactivity, fun. If your immersive experience doesn't have one of those 4 components at a bare minimum, it will never work. And I think that's such a good access point for marketers when they're thinking about building for AR or 3D. Our research is showing that a lot of immersive experiences really drive utility and knowledge sharing and an ability to interact. So we're seeing that the older generation, 35 plus, are really driving towards that because it's solving a problem for them. It's about building for that audience. If you want to attract that older audience, there is ways to leverage the metaverse for a 35 plus audience for sure. You can bake in a lot of utility into immersive and 3D, whether it's fantastic experiences or shopping experiences. You're able to solve problems for retailers, for example. So in Australia, they had objects that were too big to put into store, and AR solved that problem for them because we were able to recreate those objects in 3D. Consumers could see what these huge items looked like in their backyard. And that was a campaign targeted to mums. So that generation of probably 30 plus, mums with kids at home, that kind of 3D world or more interactive, more two-way conversation can really kind of drive a bigger conversation than just serving branded content.
From the digital generation, from the baby boomers to Generation Z, the tech savvies to the tech natives, the metaverse welcomes all kinds of consumers who are also open to changes and progress in modern technology. Though it offers limitless possibilities and opportunities for new consumer experience, an important question is, what challenges can brands and marketers expect in the metaverse?
Examples are blockchain payment, because the concept of metaverse is for you to live there.
I guess one of the glaringly obvious sectors that would be challenged potentially would be the finance industry, because crypto is the currency of blockchain. And in order to be a metaverse, you have to have blockchain technology integrated into your platform. You could say that traditional financial organizations would find it tricky to be in the metaverse.
And since the metaverse caters to a wide variety of consumers that have varying interests, the challenge for marketers is to create individual profiles for creators and consumers and enhance the overall experience for them.
The metaverse is heavily creator-driven and offer a right range of experience where users can socialize. Everyone will be able to contribute and build things on Metaverse. Another point for marketers to pay attention to is to identify those creators, be it a company or individual. By collaborating this creator model, embrace the beauty of the creativity can be brought to life by creators. That can be a low-hanging fruit for brands to enhance their performance in the Metaverse. Important types of technology would be applications and the experience that companies utilize to create the experience for people, so they can be gaming, workspace, education, and shopping. Marketers will have opportunity to explore and create a lot more new experience for target audiences and the consumers. New way of understanding audience and avatars in the new Metaverse landscape. You probably will use new ways of monitoring the behavior patterns and the analytics models to support your business to avatar model. I think the new opportunities of virtual influencers, new humans, other humans would be also important components for us to look into.
What I've loved about the Metaverse opportunity as a platform is the way to develop a two-way communication with our consumers. Up until now, a lot of current Web 2 strategies in marketing in the digital space are very linear or flat. They're still beautiful, but you go on social media and a brand is talking to you, but more at you. There's not a two-way conversation. With a lot of the Metaverse-led brand experiences I've seen so far, it's about building community. And then that community advocate for you. They drive bigger and badder awareness because they're super excited, they're super invested, they've got stake in what you guys are producing. So as marketers, it's an opportunity to really lean into that community and create new communities.
So I think, creating a healthy metaverse environment is going to be something that's very, very important. And all the platforms needs to understand the responsibility that they have and the power that they hold, especially in terms of targeting, in terms of what kind of community they are actually evolving as well. This is something that's very important because while more mature audiences know the right behavior to navigate the metaverse, but for someone who's so young, every time you're plugging on to the metaverse, you are able to be someone else. And I think that could be a danger there.
The metaverse surely has come a long way from the linear models of the Web 1 to a decentralized technology that highlights the collaborative potential of creators and consumers. Now that we know its origins, pillars, and the possibilities and opportunities of the metaverse, it's time to pose another question. As a marketer, is your brand or business ready to enter this limitless space? And if so, what should marketers watch out for when they decide to enter the metaverse?
The number one thing in terms of building for the metaverse is thinking about what your brand looks like in a 3D environment, because that's the number one thing that we're all trying to build for, right? Is these virtual immersive environments. So how does your brand look in a 3D world? Make sure you are the owner of your brand in that space. You're not giving that to anybody else when you're doing NFT projects, because a lot of it is around IP and your content. Do watch out, because there are a lot of people claiming to be metaverse experts. So really kind of choose your friends wisely, partner with the right people, lean in the environment, and just learn as much as you can. Be a sponge. This is early, so there's no such thing as a stupid question. People are so willing to help out. Those are kind of the fundamentals that I would advise any marketer to sort of start thinking about.
Though the idea of this virtual space might sound like something out of science fiction, we now have a better understanding on how the metaverse and its technology in particular offers various opportunities as it continuously evolves into a bigger playground for marketers. It's time to take advantage of the game-changing possibilities that is exclusive to the metaverse. So to marketers and consumers, what are you waiting for?
Those ecosystem types of technology will give us a lot of room for imagination, and I think it will also change the way how we do business, how we market ourselves on that platform in the future.
Whether they're looking at it from a brand building perspective or they're looking at it from a retail conversion perspective, the metaverse allows them this gateway to do what's never been done before.
The most exciting thing that I find in the Web3 space is how collaborative everybody is. If you've got a good idea or a good project, people want to help you. And I love that about this environment. And that's kind of like the whole essence of decentralized, right? Nobody's trying to like own a piece of the pie. Everybody's trying to come to the table with their skills and say, you might need a developer for this. I've got those skills. Or you might need somebody in IP law. I know somebody for that. And it's about that kind of collaboration.
In case you missed the previous episodes, MARKETECH APAC Reels also talk about the birth and pillars of the metaverse. Follow us on social media to stay updated on the latest and valuable insights on various topics we talk about for the industry here on MARKETECH APAC.